What's up, guys? Welcome back, Jackpot DFS, man. Want to get you guys a video out for tomorrow for the game. Main slate tomorrow, Millymaker. Sorry I couldn't get anything out to you guys earlier. Been kind of stressed for time. Had some family issues kind of going on, COVID related. Nothing too crazy, just kind of quarantine crazy around the house. So been trying to deal with that. Nobody has COVID. Just a little bit of scare and just kind of quarantining just to be on the safe side this past week. So anyway, guys, getting back to the main slate, I'm going to kind of do a top five that I like, and then kind of try to give you guys a value play at each position that I like. As always, you guys can always hit me up in the YouTube chat section as well as Twitter. I'll answer any other questions you guys have about some players I may or may not have mentioned. But if you guys haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. Give me a follow on Twitter as well. You can find me also with DFS Bachelor on Tuesdays for a first look. If you guys aren't following him, please do so. Guy knows what he's talking about. Been doing it for quite a while now. Looking out for my boy. He's a good fellow, and you might even get a couple chuckles out of him. He's a character. So anyway, guys, let's move on to quarterbacks I like for tomorrow. First couple guys I like, obviously Patrick Mahomes. He's in a great spot tomorrow, in a great against a bad defense. This game could get ugly really fast. Just something to keep in mind. But Patrick Mahomes obviously been the guy putting it out there, and been one of the best, probably top five fantasy quarterbacks so far this season. Moving on, Dak Prescott, man, he's been on fire. Don't expect that to change tomorrow. This could be a shootout game tomorrow. I expect him to be on top of it again. Their defense is bad. Giants' defense is bad. This could be just a monster game going back and forth. I do anticipate it to be a shootout. I don't think this will be as easy as it should be. Obviously, some injuries on both sides, and these teams aren't obviously where they want to be so far. This is just an ugly division to begin the year. So I do think the Cowboys are still favored to win it. They just have too much raw talent. And too much talent just to lose it, I would think. But stranger things have happened. They've been asleep up too long, or one of these other teams will get it together. But do like Dak Prescott this week. Moving on, a couple other guys I like up in this range. Deshaun Watson is going to gain some heart. Just some mentioning for him. He's going to gain some ownership tomorrow. This could be a breakout game for him. The coach is gone. The wild west of the West. Could be back or has gone, so these guys could have the training wheels come off and be able to explode for some offensive firepower tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. If not, then obviously we knew it was something else all along. So just something to think about tomorrow. A couple other guys I like this week. Garner Minshew, I think he's going in the same game. He's going against the terrible defense on the other side. Could also have a great big game tomorrow. This guy's been pretty good this season, 29, 11, 25. Not as expensive as these other guys. This guy will take off and get a few yards on the ground every now and then. 6,200, I like the price. A couple other guys I like as well. Cheaper salary. Teddy Bridgewater's is in a bank spot this week against the Atlanta defense that can't stop shit. I mean, they just can't stop anything. I expect him to go out there and keep doing what he's been doing, building confidence, keep doing the thing. I'm a Carolina Panther fan, so I'm just rooting them on. They're getting better and better every week. So far, they've been better than I expected. So I expect them to come out with a win tomorrow. I am being a little bit biased with that, but I do think they have the ability to come out with a win tomorrow and put a 3-2 record stamp on their season so far. So we'll see what happens. Another guy in that same category, Phillip Rivers, should gainer. He's not going to garner the ownership that Teddy Bridgewater will, but he's in a great spot as well tomorrow. Less than 1% on. So just something to think about. A couple other guys to mention before I move on to running backs. Jimmy Garoppolo is coming back, $5,500 price, worth the stab tomorrow. Daniel Jones, $5,400. This guy can do it with the wheels of his feet. He can also do it through the pass and through the air. Expect this game to be a shootout tomorrow. Just a FYI, the past 2 or 3 weeks, the optimal has been the Cowboys stack with the Cowboys opponent coming back on the other end. These receivers are pretty cheap, so you can obviously get some of that in the going into the game tomorrow. Expect a shootout. I'd expect a shootout. Moving on to running backs, top five I like. Zeke is obviously our number one. He'll be a part of this Dallas attack tomorrow. I expect him to be. He's been getting plenty of targets. This game could turn out to another Dak Prescott show where he has to throw the ball a ton to either stay in the game or win the game. You just never know. But like Zeke tomorrow, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, apologize. He's at another great matchup tomorrow. 31st defense against the run. Could be another great running back for tomorrow. James Robinson as well is obviously his big play this season has been a big part of the Jacksonville offense. This guy's done nothing but produce. He's 24, 31, 15 the last 3 games. He's also getting targeted out of the backfield. He's only coming at 12% ownership. He's playing 59% of the snaps. I feel like it's more than that. I feel like he's always out there all the time. But this guy has a good upside tomorrow against a bad defense. Moving down, what's not to like about Mike Davis? He's kind of came in and took the starting job, or at least the replacement job, as well as with CMC out for Carolina. This guy just came in and replaced him and just hasn't missed a beat. This guy's running hard, doing the same things that McCaffrey was doing. He's been a nice addition. He's been a nice sight to see for the Panthers. Still too cheap, $6,400. He's catching out of the backfield 8, 9, 6 targets a game. Past 3 games, he's done nothing but produce. He's getting touchdowns. He's catching the ball. This guy's playing. It says 45% of snaps, but that's got to be wrong. He's playing way more than that. 29% owned is just good chalk. You just kind of have to take that tomorrow. I think he's a must play tomorrow. He's just a bank statement, basically you could call him, to produce. No questions and concerns about that. Moving on, another guy I like tomorrow that could have a breakout game is David Johnson. We've been waiting for it. He's been in some great spots. He just hasn't produced just yet, but he's going to be highly owned. A lot of people seem to think he's going to have a breakout game too. I wouldn't bank on him. He's not so much of a bank statement as much as Mike Davis would be. But somebody you think would eventually he's going to catch on and get a couple touchdowns, have a big game at some point. Just something to think about. Another guy I kind of like, sneaky, Antonio Gibson. I think he's been pretty good so far for Washington. The Rams aren't as good. They're kind of middle of the pack against the run. This guy could have a nice game tomorrow as well, so just something to keep in mind out. A couple cheap dart throws for tomorrow. I like Frank Gore. Frank Gore is only 4,000. They don't have a lot behind him, so he could come out there and run easy 20 times tomorrow. Just something to think about the game, especially if the game stays close. He's not opposed to catching out of the backfield as well. This guy is like the dinosaur of running backs, but he just doesn't. He's like the Terminator. He just doesn't die. He's up there. He's still running. This guy's still terrific at being out there and being healthy. So just something to think about tomorrow. Those are my running backs plays for tomorrow. Moving on to receivers for tomorrow. Obviously, love Hopkins, but I'm gonna probably fade a little bit on him this week. I just think you can find some nice value down here and a little bit cheaper. And I think you'll have to be kind of level-headed tomorrow with your pricing and things like that. And also, wanted to mention a cheap before I get any further, cheap quarterback play for tomorrow. Kyle Allen is only $4,100 on DK tomorrow. Just something to think about. I'm telling you, I've seen this guy playing Carolina. It's not out of the question. This guy doesn't throw 300 yards and for a couple TDs tomorrow. And for a $4,100 price, you just can't beat that. That's the value play of the week stuff there. But moving on, Amari Cooper, another great spot this week. Could have another monster game. 9, 12, 16 targets last week. That's just unheard of. So just something to think about. One of my top plays of the week. Tyreek Hill is another big play for me this week. Love him. Love the upside. Going against a terrible matchup. Playing 87% of snaps. He's getting targeted plenty. Just stuff to think about. Couple other guys. Obviously, DJ Chark's in a great matchup more as well. 82% of snaps. He's getting plenty of targets. He just came back from injury, so he got 9 targets when he came back last week. Scored a 30. This guy has 2 touchdown upside, 100 plus yards a game. Going against a terrible defense, obviously in play and at a decent price. Carolina's receivers are just too cheap for whatever reason. If I had to go with one, I'd go with Robert Anderson. He's been the one getting the most love here lately. He comes at a little bit cheaper of ownership as well. 10, 6, 11 targets. This stuff to think about. And a couple other guys I like this week. I like Slayton for the Giants tomorrow. This is something to think about for tomorrow. This game should be a shootout. Wouldn't surprise me to see Slayton go off, Tate go off, a couple of these guys. Just something to think about. But Hilton's also dirt cheap. He's in a great matchup as Gale tomorrow. He hasn't really come on yet this season, but I expect it to come soon. It could be tomorrow. Going against the Cleveland Browns. He's only $4,900. A couple cheap guys to think about tomorrow that you could play around with if you wanted to save some salary. Fitzgerald's only $3,800. He's on the field 84% of snaps. I mean, this guy's been there forever, but he still has touchdown upside at $3,000 price. And a couple other guys. Cedric Wilson's been getting more playing time for the Cowboys. 7 targets, 6 targets the last couple of weeks. And then a couple really cheap guys at minimum salary. Zacharias, especially if Julio Jones doesn't play for Orlando tomorrow, this guy will see plenty of playing time, and he'll get the target share. $3,000 price, you can't really beat that. And then one more guy at $3,000 is Jeff Smith. This one not failed to mention that guy. He came on last week and really played well. I expect him to be part of that offense if he continues to play well. He should see plenty of opportunity as well tomorrow. A little bit stingy over defense, but at $3,000 price, you don't need much to pay that off. So this stuff to think about. Moving on to tight ends. George Kittle, favorite tight end play of the week. This guy's in a smash spot. He's going against Miami defense. I don't know that they can stop him. As well as Travis Kelce, same position, same kind of situation in a great matchup. I like Kittle's upside a little bit more than I do Kelce. They just don't have the talent that Kelce has around him that they do. Kittle doesn't. So they go to Kittle a little bit more. I feel like they're depending on him a little bit more than they would a Travis Kelce because they have all those other stars there. Also, a couple other guys to mention. I like Evan Engram this week. Like I said, I think that game will be a shootout. $4,600 price, not too bad. Played 90% of snaps. I think this guy has a couple of 1 to 2 touchdown upside tomorrow. As well as Mo Alley Cox in a great matchup tomorrow, 4,200, less than 1% owned. I think this guy still has 1 to 2 touchdown upside as well as Eric Ebron as well has upside as well. 72% of snaps, only 1% on. What's not to love? Has plenty of upside as well. Some other cheap guys to mention: In Thomas for Carolina and Manhurts as well. These guys are playing about half and half, but they're dirt cheap. Manhurts is about $2,500. In Thomas is about $3,400. This is a couple guys to think of that are dirt cheap. There's some other cheaper guys down here too, but those guys aren't really getting. Logan Thomas, I guess you could look for some of that love as well tomorrow with Kyle Allen. I mean, this guy may start to blow up now that he's getting all those looks and playing all those snaps. Logan Thomas might actually get some fantasy points with Kyle Allen at quarterback. We'll see. No promises, but we'll get a sample dose tomorrow and see what kind of happens. Top 5 defenses I like this week. I like the Cardinals for their upside. I like the Ravens tomorrow against Joe Burrow. Steelers are probably one of my favorite defenses tomorrow. Carson Wentz is known to make mistakes. He's known to fumble the ball and he gets sacked. This game has this defense could absolutely score a touchdown tomorrow defensively. Just stuff to think about tomorrow. A couple other plays like the Colts tomorrow against Cleveland. Might be a come to Jesus meeting for Baker Mayfield in that game when he scored so many points on the Cowboys this week. It's going to be ice cold. Went from hot last week to ice cold this week in defensive. They could have very well been against the worst defense in the league versus the #1 defense in the league this week. So we'll see how well they handle the transition there. A couple cheap defenses that I like this week is Washington. I think Jared Goff struggles on the road. He has made some mistakes in the past on the road. I think this Washington defense is a little bit better than they gave the credit for. And with Kyle Allen at the quarterback tomorrow, this could change some things for their offense and keep the defense off the field a little bit more, and could keep these defensive guys a little bit fresher. Could be a sneaky value play tomorrow. And one more sneaky value play is the Panthers against Atlanta. They've been throwing the ball a lot. Not out of the realm of possibility where Matt Ryan makes some mistakes or whatnot tomorrow at some point. Carolina's defense is getting a little bit better each week, so just some dark throws to think about next week. But guys, if you're not following me on Twitter or YouTube, please subscribe and do so. Follow me on Twitter. I'll keep putting out the injury news when I get that, and I try to give you guys another play to kind of pivot off of if a guy's out that wasn't expected or was kind of on the ledge. I'm not sure if he was going to play or not, to give you kind of a value play to replace that person if I haven't mentioned them in the videos. Also, guys, as well as make sure you're being responsible with your plan. Make sure if you're playing, play what you can afford. We all have families to things to take care of, as well as myself. Sometimes we can get a little greedy thinking we know the answers and we don't, and then it leaves us in a tough spot for the rest of the week. Let's not do that. Be responsible. And all those good things. But if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please hit me up on YouTube chat or hit me up on Twitter. If you're on the fence thinking about playing one guy or the other and you can't decide, or need some advice on some different pivots, things like that, hey man, feel free to ask me. Even if you don't agree with it, you can still ask, and I'll give you what I think you should do. Never pay for lines, guys. Never pay for advice. If you're paying somebody for lines or anything like that, or some people do that for whatever reason, nobody knows the optimal what's going to happen the next day. We can try to narrow it down to what we think is going to happen, but we're not fortune tellers. If we were, we'd all be rich. Try to be smart about those kind of things, guys. But hey man, everybody have a great Saturday night, rest of your weekend, and let's win some money tomorrow, boys. Have a good night.